I want to see. So, hi everybody. We're just this is the pre-show setup. We're just trying to see because we sit here chatting, and we always go, "Oh no, don't well, what the hell?" So we've got a song. We'll start at 8 with the song. I'm going to play "Daddy Government" by Matt Finlay and Robin, which I just think is hilarious. It's such a great song. But we are. Watch this. This is why I'm starting early, just to see if it's working. Let me give a sec. Now we have so Substack is big news, Paul.
Yes, well, Substack's been very important for me,
Yeah, well now it's so just putting this up now. Hey guys, whoever's here, just putting this up. Okay, here we go. So these are the new alternative platforms to watch Cafe Lockdown on. Odyssey, there's the Odyssey one there, and then Telegram, Cafe Lockdown, and find it on there. I'm not sure. I'm not very au fait. I'm not very au fait with Telegram, but yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
I'll tell you some big news. Before, I'm not saying this will happen, but we've got a really great way to protest. Before Damien got in trouble for getting photographed changing light bulbs with the wrong hand, there's a he was really into one of my plays called When Icebergs Burn. Now he's considering doing it with his daughter, and who's a great actress. And what I'm thinking is, wouldn't it be great if it was a huge hit? Imagine having a full theater for people watching Damien and his daughter. It's a great thriller play. It's a great play. And that would be like this to everyone who's been trying to bring him down. The reviews would be scathing. They'd try everything to bring him down, but the people would come to see him. So
Yeah.
just
Well,
talk to
look,
Damien today. Not promising anything, but to have a cancelled playwright and a cancelled actor come together, we should get Richard involved. And very quiet sound. Okay, is that any better? How's that, Nina? Is that any better with the sound? Do you want to check on your? How do I sound to you, Paul? Loud, quiet. And I just want to know from anyone on Telegram. I don't think the Telegram comments will come through to us, but we just want to know if it's working on Telegram. So if you're watching on Telegram, you could contact us some other way, just to see.
Michael, I muted myself to see if the very quiet sound had gone away.
Sound is good. Thanks, Rex. Okay, Nina, sound. Maybe check your volume, Nina. Yeah, maybe switch off and come back on, Nina, because Rex says it's good. Oh, Nina's better now. Okay. You're on a slant, Nina. Pilo, the live stream is working. Thank you, Pilo. That's fantastic. Good to hear from you, Pilo. Pilo, I believe, WA. He's a great. I wish I should have had you on by now, Pilo. We should have interviewed you, brother. I couldn't get your channel, MGG. Okay, check the other link, or this. Do that. I know you don't like doing QR codes, but that's how Telegram works. Try that, Valerie. And Telegram, yes. Dawn, thank you. You just need to be close. No, that's great. Okay, sounds good. Hey, everyone. Okay, yeah, cool. So I'll just leave that. I wonder if I could. We got a
don't
code.
Don't they have to be already watching us to be able to do the QR code?
Yeah, but some might be watching on Telegram. They said it works. So I'm just trying to see. Good. Yeah, well, this is it. This is the future, maybe. You know what I mean? We're on. Let's try this. Telegram channel.
Hey, I can. What are we going to say we're talking about tonight?
Oh, we're just going to have a roundup of the year, chatting. Well, what I thought I was going to say, we should, who can we get on to be a, who can we get on to be a, what do you call it? Let me see this.
I guess.
A guest who specialized in basically going to have their, I don't know if that'll work, guys. Try that. Who's going to have their, okay, so it's a Telegram channel up there. I know you hate it, but it's a Telegram channel, so don't freak out. There's who's better at knowing what it's like to be censored in Australia? And I thought, I got the perfect guest. Oost. The trouble is, I'm the expert because I've got the 10-year ban. So I'm going to interview myself, So, Michael, what do you think about censorship? Well, I think it's fucked, actually. Really?
Exactly. We're streaming to 2 men and a dog. So there's no pressure. There's no one watching anyway. We're out we're behind the digital Iron Curtain. So.
That's right. We're so far gone. I was saying about we had Richard on the other day. Richard was great, but I love the fact that we were talking about David Thrussell, who's probably the deepest rabbit holer I've ever met. So if he hasn't found the rabbit, there's no rabbit. Because you can't go any deeper than David's gone. Because to David, everything's a conspiracy. I can't see it on Telegram, watching it on FB. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not an expert on Telegram yet, but I'm learning to be, so I'm not an expert. Yeah.
We're on Rumble? No.
No, I think the QR code only works on your phone, Valerie. When's the wedding? Are we invited? Well, look, we'll get back to you that. Yeah, we haven't really made a decision. Here's Kelly now. She's in the background. When we do a show that's not in a bus, we're going to have her on because she's cool. People really like her. Like her much. Did I tell you my favorite thing now is this is what all people say to me, all freedom fighters when I meet them. They go, oh, look, I just want to say I really like what you're doing. I think you're great, despite what people say. Huh? What was that? Robert Roach coming after your freedoms. That's right, Robert. Robert Roach did an absolutely epic rant, Robert. That was absolutely fantastic rant he did about Albo after what's his name, Bondi. Where are we? Okay, 1 minute. Okay, we're sort of doing the What the F Boys now. We're going to start now with the thing. So here is Robin from Courage is the Cure and Matt Finlay with Daddy Government, and then we'll start the show.
pack of liars.
Yeah, you thieves.
You're murderous psychopaths, and I don't want anything to do with you.
So get your beak out of our lives and stop trying to tell us how to live.
Yeah, yeah! I'm not the job now, hear me say. I'm upset, but not my sexy. You don't make decisions for me.
The government doesn't make a good parent, does it?
Nah, and you know what? I reckon anyone else, they'd have their kids taken off them. Grow up now!
That's so good. That is so good. I should put my hair out so I can headbang it. And my hair's actually the longest it's ever been. It comes forward below my chin. With any luck, I'm going to look like Mr. like Thing. Remember from the Addams Family? Cousin Thing? Cousin It.
Cousin It, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I'll
yeah.
just say, when AJ comes looking for me, I'll just have to go.
Thing was the hand.
Anyway, big guy, how have you been since I saw you last?
Well, I was on 2 weeks ago, and
Oh,
you're saying, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
it
no,
seems
I was
to be
on-
freezing. So yeah, I can hear you.
I was on 2 weeks ago, and that was great hanging out. And then I was going to come on last week, and as I was waiting to see if I could join you, I got the news of what was happening in Bondi, and
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
that floored me, and so I think it floored everyone that because that's a bridge I've crossed 1,000 times in my life. That was very much my hood, and the idea that there were
Yeah, absolutely.
it was totally so.
I'm listening. I'm just retweeting.
I've done it. I've done my retweet.
But
Yeah. So there's been a lot of processing in the last week, about what that all meant.
yeah.
And
What do you think it means? What does it mean to you?
well, it's complex and it's simple. Look, I think we've been at war for many years, and this is a form of war. I don't think anyone would argue with that. But I think Albo's done. I honestly think his response. I think he's done. I think people are fed up with that. His uselessness. I thought I could probably best sum it up in this clip from Babylon Bee. Now this is a year old nearly, but it covers a lot of what I'm wondering about.
There is
Yeah,
a deadly
man.
plague sweeping over Great
Just trying
Britain. This cancerous plague threatens everything: our nation, our culture, our values, and everything we hold dear. If it is not stopped, we might lose our homeland forever. This terrible disease is bigotry. That is why, as proud citizens of Great Britain, we must all keep a stiff upper lip and do our part to avoid bigotry, racism, and Islamophobia. Here are just a few helpful tips to help you avoid the stain of bigotry whilst you're being raped, stabbed, or blown up by Pakistani migrants. When an Islamic migrant approaches you and begins repeatedly thrusting a knife into your torso or face area, remember this: white British citizens sometimes stab people too, and you should be ashamed of yourself for thinking people stabbing is a Muslim thing. While the attacker stabs you, close your eyes and try to picture him as a white male. This simple meditation will help your bias melt away like clotted cream on a toasty, crumpeted tea time. Cheers, old boy. You've done it. If you are a woman always remember to wear modest clothing. Ideally, clothing should cover your legs, your ankle, your face, your eyes, and everything else. Take a look at Elizabeth here. Now that's an attractive and safe look for England's streets. Failing to wear the proper attire could lead to men of undetermined religion and national origin succumbing to their baser instincts, making you a target. So, do the right thing for England and cover up. That a girl, Elizabeth. Avoid regressive and offensive British terms, such as cheerio, codswallop, or throw a wobbly. Instead, use more inclusive terms, such as Allahu Akbar, or Allahu or death to Israel. This makes British Muslims feel welcome. If you've done all these things and still have feelings of bigotry, simply submit to the Holy Quran and acknowledge Muhammad as the one true prophet of Allah. Then follow all the tenets of Islam.
Man, we're so good.
5 times per day facing Mecca, and maybe even stab another British person while shouting Allahu Akbar. Congratulations, you have completely rid yourself of the stain of bigotry. And as the evil dictator Winston Churchill once said, keep calm and carry on.
Yeah, so of course that's Babylon
Blessings,
Bee.
good sir. Thank you for watching this moving picture from the Babylon Bee.
Can I
Ever since
Yes.
Can I do a counterbalance? I tried to play this with Richard. This is the head imam in Australia. I think it's very interesting what he said. Richard didn't want to hear it.
Was hanging out with Hamas, saying that he had come to the land of jihad to learn from the sons of jihad. What are you going to learn from them? Algebra, mathematics? What is there in Gaza for you to learn? AI, for example? What were you to Australia? Muslim Brotherhood ideology being brought in to Australia, and we see the results of that where innocent people were massacred. This is a community very dear to my heart. I was speaking to the family members of those victims immediately after the attack. This is a community that helped me become the person I am today. But when we talk about bridge building, coexistence, these need to be part of our conversation. Not just tolerance, because the law prevents us attacking each other, but peace and harmony on a human level, on a human level.
I like him.
Yeah, well, of course I like what he's saying.
Yeah,
He's right. No, look, he's
Yeah,
right. I know. I think Richard was saying like he's a paid mouthpiece for, the Jewish lobby or the
I
whatever
really
you want to call it.
the head imam. I know what Richard said, and I didn't want to contradict him last night because he was having a great time. But I really don't think the head imam of Muslim religion in Australia is working for the Jews. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. What I do want to bring up though is this. Watch this. Now that's the girl that got shot, and the photographer got killed as well. Now, what I want to say is, who benefits in Australia? Who benefits by having this young girl who's obviously enjoying being alive, happily being alive? How do we benefit? How do the guys that killed her? How do they benefit? How does whoever's behind it benefit? How do we benefit by this? This is absolutely. It's just a tragedy. It's just an absolute.
No, it is heartbreaking. And no, humans.
It's live, Alexander.
I've noticed that there's already stand-up happening about, and again, this is on the same vein, but I think it's stand-up. I think let me play this. Hold on.
Hey, Marie.
Let me pop this up.
Ben is thanking you. He said, thanks. Now we're all on the list.
No, I don't think it's is it on that? Yeah, okay. All right.
Have you got a holster? This is This is not what we need right now. You know what I mean? There's just been a slaughter on Bondi Beach, and you're walking around with a holster on. This is no Bondi Beach. Honestly, man, we got to talk about Bondi Beach because I don't know. The reaction was something else. You know, the politicians came out and they're like, "Listen, this is nothing to do with Islam. It's nothing to do with Islam." It's like, I don't know, as a Muslim guy who was an Islamic scholar who studied at an Islamic institute and passed his tajweed, whatever that is, the rules of tajweed. I'm still getting to grips with the rules of hungry hippos. This guy's got the rules of tajweed, and he's slaughtering people while shouting Allah Akbar and doing it in the name of Islamic State, and he's got an Islamic State flag in the car. I think it might have a little bit to do with Islam. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? If there's a guy on Bondi Beach dressed like Hitler, running about fucking shooting people with a Luger and shouting Heil Hitler with like the flag of, you know, the Nazi flag, and he's called Fritz von Bosch. I don't think the politicians would be coming out and being like, "Oh, now this has got nothing to do with Nazis whatsoever." Oh my God! We've got to be careful. We've got to stand with the Nazi community at this time, and it's very much the fascism of peace, and it's. And the authorities, they quickly pivoted to the hero. You're right to throw a glass. They quickly pivoted to this hero guy, this Muslim guy who stopped one of the attackers. Well, stopped them for a bit and then got shot by the police because they've let too many women in the police force. That's my opinion, but he got shot by the police, but this guy, genuine hero. But everybody's like, "Look at this moderate Muslim! Look at this moderate Muslim saved the day." Doesn't this just prove that immigration works? And I don't know, man. Like, if I was having some sort of buffet spread, like some sort of barbecue, and 16 people got food poisoning, but there was one sausage roll that didn't kill anybody, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, what a fantastic success this buffet policy is," what a resounding success, As long as you can rely on a moderate Muslim being there when the radicalized Muslims wants to kill you. I mean, is the term moderate Muslim, is that not a bit of a red flag in itself? You know what I mean? We've got to give out labels for people who haven't murdered anyone today. It's like, wow, what an achievement. What an achievement. Here's a gold star for basic civilization. Obviously with all this, I'm not saying that there's any similarity between, what I said earlier. There's no similarity between Nazis and Muslims. I just wanted to make that clear, because the Nazis could get trains to run on time. So yeah. I don't want to get accused of Islamophobia. You know what I mean? I don't want to get accused of Islamophobia, which is apparently an irrational fear of Muslims, an irrational fear of Islamists. I don't know. Islamists are kind of scary. They're a little bit scary. Like, people have irrational fears of stuff like spiders. Nobody's given arachnophobes a hard time. Nobody's like, not I'm saying there's any similarity between, Islamists and spiders either. Like, spiders have got hairy legs and they kill a surprising number of people in hot countries. But Islamists are definitely scarier than spiders. I think we can all agree on that. That's less of an irrational fear. Like, they're scarier. Imagine if all the spider's going to do is scuttle out from under the couch, a little bit of a fright, give you a startle like that. Like, that's not so bad. Imagine if, like, you get home and you sit down on the couch to watch some TV after paying your license fee, of course. And then Osama bin Laden comes scuttling out from under the couch. Oh my God, you're going to shit yourself. It's his legs. They're so long, they're going so fast, It's his distended thorax. Terrifying. And then you think, well, I think he's gone behind the curtains. He's safe for now, Hopefully I'll just never see him again. He won't make a nest and lay eggs and create 500 more Osama bin Ladens. And you go upstairs to have a bath to relax, and you go into the bathroom, you turn on the light, and there's Abu Hamza in the bathtub. And he's scrabbling at the sides of the bath, but he can't get any purchase because his hooks are hands. Hooks for hands. That's definitely going to make you shit yourself a little bit. You're supposed to get him in a pint glass and slide some card underneath him. Like, the guy's 27 stone, you know? Yeah. You know, because I've got to be careful what I say, because I've been be careful. Yeah. I just pity the poor guy, the intern at Hope Not Hate, who's transcribing this right now. You know? The guy, some fucking left-wing wanker, some socialist, got to like sign up to my Patreon and pay £3 a month to go through all my boring videos, finding stuff that's offensive. I make videos specifically to make Hope Not Hate bored. If you want to see me perform stand-up live, I've got a national tour coming in April.
There you go. So,
2020.
well, let me get that up. So there you go. There are people.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe we could reach out to him. That's hilarious. Yeah. Look, Trevor on Telegram. I don't think Telegram comments come through to the live, so you can watch it there, but you can't interact. Yeah. Oh, there's Matt. Hey, Matt. We started with your song. It's brilliant, man. Brilliant. Yeah. And
I'd love to chat
I've
to.
been on the computer for hours, but when the show starts, as soon as the show starts, we have Starlink issues. So, yeah. Albanese got the reception he deserves at Bondi this evening. He was loudly booed and told he was not welcome by the crowd, who clearly told him he was responsible for the Islam terrorist attack there a week ago. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up on Facebook. So
I think he's done. I think he's done. Honestly, he's
finished, man. He's finished. Look, he comes out. He won't mention Islam, and all he goes is right wing. Right wing. We went there, man. It's just obscene what he's doing. I mean, you know, even his like say the you know, we're looking at him going, oh my God, this guy he's just so he's more out of touch than a quadruple amputee. You know what I mean? He's just so out of touch. But that's from us looking up. But imagine the elite, they must be looking down and going, that's the best you could find? The best you could find. He's got a little dog. He just had an Elton John gay wedding I mean, seriously, that's the best we could find. We have trillions of dollars, and that's the best we can find to govern Australia.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Okay,
they're already. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna bring it up now. Yeah, I'm just gonna bring this up. This is Albanese. This could be it, man. Watch this now. So it's here. I'll make it bigger.
You are not welcome.
Wow.
You don't represent Australia. You don't represent Australia. Get out of here, Albanese. You might as well go to a jihadist nation where you can sit in. Shame on you.
Wow, the Jews, man.
The Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese. The Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese. federal, excuse me,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
That's
said,
a no
I think
from that
he's
crowd.
toast.
Beauty says no.
I think he's toast. I saw this tweet the other day that sort of, if only there were signs, you know. I don't know. I think
They were
you know,
walking
it's-
down the bridge and they were holding up the Ayatollah Khomeini at the front of that march. And then when we
Yeah.
wanted to march against anti-immigration, we're not allowed on the bridge.
well,
We're
no,
not
no,
allowed.
no.
Hey, man, that's an important bridge. You guys can't go on there. You're just Australians who pay for the taxes that keep the bridge in good repair.
You know,
How do you
and
think you have that amount of freedom?
the amount of unfairness, you know, is pretty epic. I see there is this look, you spend your whole life working in Australia, paying taxes, being part of the community, and of course it's natural when people come from elsewhere and they straight away, you know, a lot of them are on benefits and support, and they get, and then the people who are working who were here before, I'm not even talking what race or religion or whatever, there's an element of unfairness to having large immigration. And, you know, with inflation and taxation and growing bureaucracy, you don't even have to invoke religion to, this is not really about religion, you know, this is a struggle for resources and ideas. And I think there is an empire that is trying to maintain its hold, you know, and I think they are losing, and Albo's a reflection of that. Am I breaking up, Michael, or is it coming through okay?
T-shirt, by the way.
I saw this.
A little bit of a breakup. I'm thinking it might be me. I'm just going to say Ben Clifton. Sorry, Kel. I'm just putting this one up. Oh dear, booing at the mirror. That really doesn't reflect on it well on anyone. I get you, Ben, but I think they've got the Jewish people have lost people. Unfortunately, you know, this is grief, man, grief and anger, and this is what I think that. I think Albanese's finished. But what's really interesting about Albanese finishing, who wants the job? They'll be turning around to the rest of the Labor leaders and going, okay, who wants to be the PM? They'll be like, oh.
Oh, no, there's always someone who's willing to stand up. Yeah, and there'll be lots of parodies. I think this is a parody. Hold on, let me get it up here.
Within hours of tragedy, I convened National Cabinet, and together we've identified the real problem. Law-abiding citizens still have too many freedoms. So as of today, we are fixing that. 5 new very important restrictions on people who did nothing wrong. Because when evil acts, the good always get punished. It's like banning cars because someone drove drunk. See, that is logic. So we could ask the hard questions about extremism. We could examine our intelligence failures. We could wonder why warning signs were ignored, but that would mean admitting that we failed. So instead, let's blame objects. Objects can't vote. Objects can't call us incompetent. Objects are perfect scapegoats. When extremists chant for violence, we call it peaceful protest. When they burn our flag, we call it expression. When tragedy strikes, we...
It went away.
I don't know what happened there. The internet. Look at this comment. Everyone's talking about replacing him with Dan. Can you imagine? Seriously, is Australia really going to put Dan Andrews in charge of Australia? Seriously? Oh my God!
I guess the Antichrist. I guess the Antichrist was busy.
The Antichrist is scared of Dan Andrews. Oh my God, Australia! If you vote Dan Andrews in, oh my God!
Look, and in the midst of all this, which is related to the censorship and what's called a social media ban. But I think, look, you know me, I'm a coincidence theorist. Check this out and tell me if you think this might have. So this is Christine Lagarde, the vampire who's in charge of the EU banking.
Hello. I have good news for you on the digital euro front. Today, the Governing Council has decided to move ahead on the next and final phase of the preparatory work for the digital euro. The other good news is that on October 23rd, the European Council has asked us and all those involved to accelerate the process so that we can roll out the digital euro as early as possible. This is important because as much as banknotes will continue to circulate, we want cash to be in the form of digital euro as well, so that you can circulate banknotes and
let's just play that again.
It's important because as much
just watch it here.
As banknotes will continue to circulate, we want cash to be in the form of
they will continue to circulate
well, so that you can circulate banknotes.
Banknotes will continue to circulate
with the digital euro. More work is going to be done in the next few months, and if we receive the approval by the European Parliament in the course of 2026, we'll be able to pilot the digital euro as of 27. And if the pilot is conclusive and positive, it will be a formal rollout in the whole of Europe in 2029. This is a big project because the euro is our currency, your currency. It brings us together. It's a symbol of trust in our common destiny. So off we go with the digital euro in that next and final phase of the preparation.
As soon
as that goes off, you can hear someone call out from the cafe, "Who ordered the adrenochrome? Adrenochrome?"
I mean, the Europeans, exactly. I mean, the Europeans are in real trouble. I mean, we all are, honestly. But you can see that this digital ID business is about preparing the groundwork for the what I call the totalitarian frequent flyer points system. You know, you'll get your compliance points, and you'll be able to get your rations. You know, it's a rationing system for a declining economy, and Europe is Europe is in trouble. But we all are, and we're all facing the same agenda. You know. I mean, in the last week, you know, what I've been telling people for years is silver has been also breaking out against all the currencies. Michael, you seem to have frozen. I'll just put this up while Michael. So, yeah, there's a breakout. And I think it's people are seeing that there is an alternative to the banker script, and gold and silver, and even other metals like palladium and platinum. And palladium have both been taking off.
Okay.
Hello.
So we're having a bit of issues tonight because we're on Starlink. And so why should we? Who's that? Why is there another me?
It's your alter ego.
Me myself. There's it's ego taking narcissism to the next level. Now I believe you got some mugs, but you don't have them with you, right? Me more veteran.
No, I don't. All right, just to change the subject.
The other thing I saw today was someone, one of not someone we've interviewed, with the calamari in the blood, but oh my God, this thing was like as thick as my finger, like this long. I mean, it's been living in the vein and grows after the body dies. And this is what I don't get. I've said this before, but I've got to say it. if they find a frog deep in the Amazon rainforest who has a yellow spot on his right arse cheek instead of his left arse cheek, they go, oh my God, we found a new species, and it's worldwide news. But they find something like calamari living in human beings that science has never seen. No, nothing to see here. I mean, it's just bonkers. What are you journalists doing? Why are you leaving it to us on our dodgy internet? They are killing us. And you're just, what are you doing? As a journalist, what are you doing? I don't get it. I just, after 5 years, I don't get it. I set up a Telegram channel. I got trolls straight away. Oh, this. I'm going. Anyway, that's it. That's out of the way. Move on.
No, I think it. Well, you know,
Are you frozen?
Am I frozen?
G'day, Brad. No, you ain't. G'day, Carla. How you going, girl? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's a real concern.
We should just say hi to everybody because we have been here all year. We've survived another year. Now we're going into the 6th year of, and here we are. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting married again. That's
congratulations, Michael. Yeah, I mean, it's been in some ways it's the best of times and it's the worst of times. That Dickens
that's
quote.
what I'm thinking.
It really does seem like that. Like even what happened in Bondi is what's happening globally, the censorship, but there's also a great awakening happening at the same time, and people can feel it, and I think it's amazing, Michael. I think we're breaking down paradigms and ways that we've lived and run society for hundreds of years. Just
we're just trying to Starlink. Keep chatting, buddy. I'm just trying to fix the Starlink.
Well, while we're doing that, I'll put this on. Just it's a flashback.
Vaccinated, and the virus comes into your community, the virus will hunt you out. The virus hunts down the unvaccinated.
The virus will find the unvaccinated. That's what they all say.
And it's a virus that will find you if you're not vaccinated.
If you're unvaccinated, it will find you.
The virus is literally finding unvaccinated people.
It will find the unvaccinated.
We're seeing COVID-19 tracking down unvaccinated people.
If you're unvaccinated and you're in circulation, you're going to get it.
The Delta variant of COVID-19 has the potential to spread through an unvaccinated community like wildfire.
The Delta variant is so aggressive that if you're unvaccinated, it's going to find you.
Delta is finding the unvaccinated.
The Delta variant will find you. If you're not vaccinated, it will find you.
The virus tends to find places that are under-vaccinated.
It does not just move to city centres. It finds the unvaccinated wherever they are.
So you might live in the middle of the desert, but it can still find you.
But if you're unvaccinated, this virus is looking for you.
This virus, this infection will seek out the people who are either unvaccinated or have only had one jab and are not fully protected.
The virus does seem to be finding older people who have not received that third dose.
We'll ultimately find just about everybody.
But these three people, two of them weren't vaccinated.
He's so pretty.
Just had the first dose. The virus is found.
If you are unvaccinated,
you might live in the
there you go. So that just a flashback. They've been lying constantly. Don't believe anything at this stage. And just follow your own eyes and ears. Hey, that's better. We're not jittering up. Did you move the dish?
Endeavoring to persevere. They are the virus. New to us. I've never seen you before. Endeavoring to persevere. Great title. Yeah, they are the virus. Yeah, it's just baffling now why we're still here and why the lies are so blazingly obvious. I mean, we brought up something yesterday on, I don't know where the thing is now, but Victoria is planning 20-minute cities. They've got a big website displaying how great it is, how fantastic it's going to be for everybody. You know what I mean? How you all get a Mockingjay, and they're going to have a big competition once a year for your kids, you know, or just at least 1 or 2 kids. You know what I mean? And it's great. You know, there's going to be lots of jobs like working in mines and, you know, making ammunition for the soldiers who are controlling you and stuff like this, and polishing the cameras and stuff like that. So there's a lot of good stuff coming.
Mark, you know, I made a prediction because you know how they said 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and it ended up being like two years. I worked out on that logic, and the 15-minute cities would end up being like 2 minutes and 30 seconds eventually. You know, look, our government
giving us 5 more minutes. It used to be 15, now it's 20. So they're giving us 5 more minutes.
Yeah, they're so benevolent.
McDonald's is obviously like 18 minutes away, so they had to increase it just so.
So they've worked out there's a McDonald's within 18 minutes of nearly everyone in the population.
15-minute one work.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a corporate influence. Actually, that's
I know.
Oh man,
it's funny because it's true. So yeah, that's right, Carla. So this is, and do you know what really annoys me? This is today. Like, it's been stinking hot up here. This bus doesn't have any air conditioning, so we were camped near a beach this morning, somewhere up the coast. And so first off, we had a swim. So we bathed in the ocean. Then we got in the bus and we came down to Belgium, and they had a river, and we had a swim in the river. And now we're here almost near Fort Bill, but we've just stayed in a car park near Fort Bill, near Port Macquarie. So we've been in the river a 3rd time. So we haven't had showers today. We just, you know, I smell of tap holes and stuff. And but what I'm trying to say is, this country is beautiful, and they go about climate change. The world's dying. Open your effing eyes and look around. All up the northern rivers, it's just abundance of life. The crops are all booming. It's just abundance. You know what I mean? It's hot, yeah, but that's because it's summer, and it's Australia, and that's what happens in December sometimes. And, you know, February's coming. It's effing hot. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful country, and they're trying to make us think it's all coming to an end. Bonkers. I can't believe they've managed to convince people not to trust their own senses. And so they look and they can't see it. That's the incredible thing that just does my head in after 5 years. You know? Coming up to 6.
Yeah. Well,
Go, Spiros.
You know, but remember that through this whole time, this is one of the Canadian truckers, you know, and he's right. You know, there was government overreach. Some stood, some dead, and he said we proudly stood. Good on him, you know.
Well, we have to stand again, but we don't have to be aggressive. We just have to say no. We just have to put up with some inconvenience. So at the moment, guys, if I go to the top, we're streaming to, just let that go for a sec, Carl. We're streaming to Odyssey. So that's, I probably got that too close. So it's Odyssey, a Cafe Locked-Out. I don't know how many people are watching it. What we heard last night was, and Telegram. What we heard last night was, but you can't, I don't think you can comment on the Telegram live, which is sad. Last night we heard that Rumble is asking for age verification, and Substack is asking for age verification. I've had so many people contacting me say they can no longer see our work on Substack, which is really tragic because Substack has obviously corrupted its own mantra. It's been a real fort for free speech during the whole COVID period. And now the government has scared it into submission. And so, yeah, and we cannot comply. So I'm still on there. We have over 8,000 subscribers, and we're going to lose them. We're going to lose them. So I'm commenting, telling them where to go. But yeah.
Hey, Michael, isn't it easy just to say cafelockout.com?
Yeah, we have cafelockout.com, but it's where we do this to it. You know what I mean? Because I think
you're talking about the live streaming. You're talking about the live streaming part of it. But if people want to,
people here, like Nina here.
Yeah, and maybe we'll have to work on bringing that facility to the website, because it's I can just tell there's a whole lot of people out there going, I don't see that, and they're already shut off. Whereas they might just remember cafelockout.com, and at least, and then at least there you can do,
Kevin,
and then
Kevin, you watching? Can we live stream to Cafe Locked Out directly, even to Fort Clow? Fort Clow is growing. I'll see if I can bring it up.
Well, that's what Fort Clow was for. That's why we built Fort Clow, isn't it? Fort Clow is the
that's why. Well,
we have to crawl into the fort soon. It's getting that time. Where's the fucking fort?
Right.
Let's the fort is that. This is a pretty.
Okay, so you go here. Okay, I'm just going to show you Fort Clow. I wanted to talk to Kevin today. Kevin's in New Zealand making it. So here we go. There it is there, Fort Clow. It's the new one. So he's got a learning center of how to use it. And then you just log in. I'll log in. And,
what's the website? What's the website?
FortClow.com. And there it is. He's got we can actually get a bit more. We can actually have your own pages and stuff. We haven't done it yet because we have to, it's too much work to monitor it. But since we've been kicked off everything else, we might actually start doing that now. So we have somewhere where we can come. But Kevin's amazing. And he's done all this. Here he is. Wherever he is. He's amazing what he's done. And there he is. Yep. And he's been, great. And so this is somewhere we might go. So I'll be talking to Kevin the next few days. Can we live stream there? We'll have a see. And so we've just got to check our options. But there's always a workaround. There's always a way. The 14-year-olds have done it. I love them. The ones that went down to the beach and they all organized. They're going, ha, 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 we organize this on TikTok. Fantastic. Our kids have more balls than their parents. That's what's going to happen. This useless generation, present people excluded, but this other, the potato families, the potato heads are just letting this all happen. It's just going, oh, what can you do? What can you do? You can say, no, you useless motherfucker. You can just think of the next generation coming and realize that, there's more important things than your latest fucking iPhone app. Just actually get out and do it. And they're going about what they think is that Australians will go, oh, this is too inconvenient not to get on. Good. Put up with some inconvenience to do you good. And just say no. And I think this is how, with Albo the way he is now, he is so weak. The government is so weak. There's going to be a huge thing going against the guns. There's a huge thing on the farms now. Basically, everyone is looking around going, this is effed, including the cost of living. We are sitting on a gold mine of this much minerals, and we're at the top trying to figure out pennies and pence. How do we survive? It's ridiculous. The government has done this. We owe $1 trillion to who? Who the hell do we owe $1 trillion? When we got to $500 billion, didn't whoever we owe it to go, hey, guys, your tab here, this tab, $500 billion? Any chance you can sort of, and we'll come along going, oh, we want submarines. Can we put submarines on the tab? It's nuts. And I think Australians are clever enough to finally go, okay, putting my head in the sand has only got me a nose full of sand. it's time to actually do something and stop this, and just stop it. You know.
Well, I what I'm looking for, I saw a brilliant
heads.
in the last few days. I saw these brilliant that explains all this, the history behind all of it. No, that's you found banker the evolution of the financial system a bit obscure and arcane. But this short video, actually, if I can find it, I think does a really good job of explaining how we got here. Here it is. I found it. Let me play this because it's 4.5 minutes and it's answering your question, Mark, quite directly. And maybe we'll get to the second part. I'll play the tweet.
I lost my best friend recently. Just before the end, he started to have the same questions. Is this the only way to live? This is all we are?
That's not the video. That's the tweet. Just to set it up. So this is an explanation of the global Ponzi system.
Every country on Earth is in debt. The United States owes $38
Oh yeah, I've been listening to this.
Japan owes $9 trillion. The entire planet owes $315 trillion, 3 times the size of the global economy. But here's the paradox that should terrify you. If everyone owes money, who exactly is owed? The answer isn't what you think. Because when you follow the chain of creditors, when you track who actually holds the debt, you discover something disturbing. The world doesn't owe money to anyone in particular. It owes money to itself. But 4 men, 4 bankers across 3 centuries, designed it that way, deliberately. They built a system where debt can never be repaid, where governments borrow forever, where interest flows eternally upward, and where the people who designed the trap profit from every payment, every crisis, every bailout. This isn't conspiracy. This is documented history. The meetings happened, the contracts exist, the mechanisms are public record. And once you see how they built it, you'll understand why 38 trillion isn't a problem to be solved. It's the system working exactly as designed. Let me show you the 4 architects, the 4 moments when the debt trap was engineered, and why every government on Earth is now caught inside it with no way out. Before 1694, kings borrowed money the old way. They'd go to merchants or nobles, promise repayment with interest, and if they couldn't pay, they'd default. Creditors lost money, kings borrowed from someone else. It was risky for lenders and embarrassing for kings, but it was contained. Debt was temporary, either repaid or defaulted. The system cleared. William Paterson changed everything. He was a Scottish merchant and financial schemer who tried and failed multiple times to get rich. In 1691, he had an idea that would reshape civilization. England was at war with France. King William III needed money desperately. The treasury was empty. Tax revenue couldn't cover war costs. And traditional lenders were refusing new loans because England had defaulted before. Paterson approached the king with a proposal. He would organize a group of wealthy merchants to lend the government 1.2 million pounds. That's about 300 million in today's money, a massive sum. But here's the innovation. The loan would never be repaid. Instead, the government would pay interest forever, 8% annually. And to manage this arrangement, Paterson proposed creating a new institution, the Bank of England. The mechanics were revolutionary. The merchant lenders would give their gold to the Bank of England. The bank would lend it to the government. The government would pay interest annually from tax revenue, and the bank would pay that interest to the merchant lenders. But here's the critical detail. The government wouldn't repay the principal, ever. The loan was permanent. Why would merchants accept this? Because the interest payment was guaranteed by Parliament. It was backed by the government's taxing power. As long as England could tax its citizens, the interest would flow. And the banknotes the lenders received in exchange for their gold could be traded. They were as good as money, better than money, because they paid interest. Parliament approved Paterson's scheme in 1694. The Bank of England was chartered. The merchants provided their gold. The government got its war funding. And for the first time in history, national debt became permanent, not a problem to solve, a feature of the system. And here's what nobody explains about why this was brilliant for the bankers. The government paid 8% interest annually on 1.2 million pounds. That's 96,000 pounds per year, forever. The merchants had essentially bought an annuity from the government. As long as England existed, as long as it could tax, the money flowed. And if they wanted their gold back, they could sell the banknotes to someone else. The debt was transferable but never repayable. But Paterson's real genius was what came next. The Bank of England was given the right to issue banknotes backed by the government's debt. They could print paper money up to the value of the loan. This created money out of debt. The government's IOU became currency. And the more the government borrowed, the more money could be created. This is the template. Government borrows, never repays principal, pays interest forever, and the debt itself becomes money. It's brilliant if you're a banker, catastrophic if you're a taxpayer, because you're paying interest on debt that will never disappear. Within 50 years, every major European power copied the model. France created the Banque Générale. The Netherlands already had sophisticated banking, but formalized government debt issuance. And by 1790, the newly independent United States adopted the same system. Alexander Hamilton, who we talked about before, explicitly modeled America's financial system on the Bank of England: permanent debt, interest paid from taxes, bonds traded as currency. Paterson died in 1719, not particularly wealthy, despite creating the Bank of England, but the system he built persists 331 years later. The Bank of England still exists. British government debt has never been paid off. It's been refinanced, rolled over, and expanded, but never eliminated. The debt trap was set in 1694, and every government since has walked into it willingly.
Wow.
That's
wow.
Part one. That's part one. Once you've digested that, there's part two, which is really clever. Nathan Rothschild and his brothers set up banks in other jurisdictions.
Yeah.
And then they shuffled it between each other so that you couldn't default on it anymore without taking out the whole system.
Yeah.
Because everybody owed everyone. It's a giant Ponzi of sovereign debt that comes at the blood, sweat, and tears of its exploited population. So it's not just the bankers that are the thing. It's the governments and the bankers working together that causes the vice grip. But you start to get an understanding of why I've been talking so much about, getting out of the banker script. Because I've said this, that my dentist used to say, he's retired now, but I used to love it. He said, just floss the teeth you want to keep, and to me, this is like that. Just keep the money or the wealth you don't want to go away in stuff like gold, silver, Bitcoin, hard assets. And of course, it's not everything, because there's also community, your skills, your knowledge. There'll be lots of factors that will survive this, but I don't think this system of finance. I think that what I'm trying to say, Michael, is that goes back to, what was it, 1600s, and it started with the Bank of England. It's been exported everywhere, and this goes beyond who we vote for. Doesn't matter what Muppet you put or what political party you vote for. This is like the water around the fish, and you've got two young fish who come up to the older fish, and they go, and he says, "Hey fellas, how's the water?" and the young fish go, "Water? What's he talking about?" This is why it's so hard for us to see, because it's literally become, I'm saying, "Hey guys, this is the water," and it's all linked in. Ukraine, why the Brits or the City of London are so keen to, and they're not England. They're a separate little, a financial island that's formed under this, this what do you call it, vampire squid. So the vampire squid is the vampire squid goes everywhere and controls everything. So and that's a choice. That's the bigger choice. You see, Lagarde is saying, "Look, we've got your central bank digital currency ready. We need you just get your digital ID and the central bank digital currency, and Bob's your uncle."
So if they
safe and effective.
we're in the same spot. We're still the same there's nothing going to change. We're still going to owe all this money. We're never going to pay it off in our time. Huge amounts of taxes to try to service the debt. You know.
So what I'm saying, is the gold price of gold and silver and even platinum, but especially gold and silver, are going vertical, which means the value of the currencies are falling against real, independent money. See, every other money. Yes, that's what it shows you. This is why all the craziness is happening.
500 years we've been under this system has finally reached its zenith. Now it's going to collapse under its own debt.
Well, it is collapsing, and that's what the gold and silver price tells you, that the value of people are losing trust in. We lost trust in medicine. We've lost trust, a bit of trust in our safety from the police force. They've been intimidating people who were trying to fight for informed consent and bodily autonomy and the right to move freely without being because of there's been people who have been fighting tyranny, but this just makes their life so much easier because once they've got control over the internet and the transfer of money and it's all digital, bada bing, bada boom, you have totalitarian, and it's global and interoperable. But I see the rise of gold tokenization as that's what the BRICS countries are doing. I think silver will be tokenized. Bitcoin can be tokenized as well, but it's good on its own.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean tokenized?
I think people, when you lose trust, okay, this time it's not just like Weimar Germany or Zimbabwe or Venezuela. This time it's happening at the core. It's happening at the core. Who knows which one will explode first? Whether it be the English, the French, the Japanese, who've got a debt to GDP, over 200%. I mean, it's just maths, It's just maths that what they have to do is take a lot of the juice out of the currencies. So in other words, they're defaulting on the debt. They're defaulting on the debt through massive inflation. What would happen if the
world defaulted on this debt? What would happen if the entire world said, "F you, we're not paying it back"? What would happen? I mean, we don't owe it to anyone who has an army. It's just the banks.
No, but that was the genius of it. This is not paying you back the people who are relying on their pensions. This is not paying you back. Is your bank account? Is the digits in your savings account or your stock account? Everything's measured in these digits. That's what I mean. It's like it's the water. But I actually think gold and silver's coming back. People are starting to remember, oh yeah, that's money.
They realize it has value.
But we knew it. We knew it at a level that, okay, so there's this guy, Peter Schiff, who I quite like, libertarian, Austrian economist. He goes head and head against the Bitcoin people, and he's sort of famous for saying, our Bitcoin's going to nothing, go get gold. And he's having a great year. But he went to a conference, and he's starting a thing called T-Gold, which is a gold digital token. So it doesn't have to be government. This could even be private institutions and you it doesn't mean anything unless you can actually take out physical gold. No one wants pretend promises anymore. It has to ultimately it'll have to be convertible at reasonable cost for the real thing. Anyway, but so he was handed a gold 1 kilo bar by CZ, the CEO of Binance, and he said, "Look, is that gold?" And he was looking at it, well, he thought he was being scammed. He thought it might be a fake bar because it wasn't a standard bar, but even a standard bar. But the point I'm trying to make is we understood what money was before electricity. It has a feel, the coolness, the way it'll react with a magnet, but the way it feels in the hand because of its weight and density. It's got all these measurable properties. Even the sound when you drop a silver coin on a table, the way it rings. You know, before they even had the fancy electrical conductance test, because say something like silver is the lowest electrical conductivity of any metal. That's why they use it in circuits, and in what do you call it? Tomahawk missiles. They use like 500 ounces of Tomahawk missile. So this stuff is needed in drones. It's needed in AI, and it's been underpriced effectively for many years by games on the paper market. So yeah, fireworks are going off there, but it tells you, just to finish up, Michael. It tells you that what I'm talking about with the bankers and money, this is happening in real time, and you can see it. And this gold going up and silver going up and platinum going up, and this rush out of the digits into hard stuff you can hold.
Yeah,
that's effectively money. On gold is money, silver is money. Yeah. And it can't. It's anonymous. It can be melted into jewelry. It can be. There's no. But they do want to bring that into this new digital system, which it will have a basis. There's no more trust me, bro. It's basically people saying we don't want this. We don't want this corrupt banker script potential Ponzi scheme, which is requiring you to tax, the shit out of us to pay these. This system collapsing will collapse, like I say, everything in terms of those digits. But that's wonderful.
Maybe on the other side of the break. I'll tell you something today, though, which was interesting to do with the same subject. So we had, it was too hot to cook in the bus, so we got a breakfast in Coffs Harbour, and a waitress came out to the table behind us with a scanner and said, "Are you paying with card?" And the guy said, "No, cash." So I said, "I work cash too," and I said, "Cash is king." We both nodded. But then the table on the other side of him, they said cash. These were very well-to-do people. And then the table across on the other side, they were cash. And when I went in, the guy running the place, he was really pissed off that they were getting rid of cash. And I said, "Paying cash?" He said, "Yeah, that's great." So I thought, wow, this is really, these people, there's all disconnect, don't know each other, and they all see that they're paying with cash. And so I think the government's got a fight on its hands. I don't think people are just going to walk into this as easily. Some will, but I think there's others that will be defined. Or that's what I'm hoping. That's why digital ID, the age verification, is the first test. So when COVID came along, that was a Pearl Harbor attack. We were like, what? Bang, no government, no army gets 2 Pearl Harbors in the one war. They just don't, because you're ready for it. And here we are ready for it now. We are sus on everything. And so, I don't know. I think it's an extraordinarily interesting time. Like even I saw with the Bondi attack, I don't have it here now, but what I saw, which was wonderful, was I took the Monday off because I thought everyone's just going to be anti-Muslim, anti-Jew, anti, hate. It was the opposite of my Instagram feed. Lots of Muslim men, lots of Jewish men, lots of Australian men, lots of other things going, "Hey, we don't want this here. The war's over there. You want to fight it, you go over there. This is Australia. We don't want your hate here." I loved it. Muslim guys were going, "Hey, you all complain that you want to live in a Muslim country. Well, go do it." Yeah. I thought that was a really active defiance.
Yeah, I love that too. I think on whatever side you are, we ultimately want peace. We don't want to have our children. We don't want to have our children shot while they're down at the beach because some sort of disagreement or accident of birth. I think it's fine to be mindful that these sort of events are used to manipulate the population and you can see how it's been bent and smoothed by the media and the political masters, and where you can understand where the questioning comes from, but definitely one thing is certain: only love. While the hatred exists, it's not the guns. It's not. It's a sense, and you've got to ask yourself, though, do we want people who hate, this country? And we've got to decide what we stand for as a nation. I think the people who are marching against immigration weren't saying, "Hey, we don't want any particular group. We just don't want people who want to tear us down, who want to replace us with their idea of Australia."
Slow it up.
Sorry?
Slow it up. Wait until we got jobs for our kids and people. I mean, at the moment, we don't live in a country where owning a house is a human right. We went through Grafton. There's parks there just full of homeless people. I heard Brisbane or some councillors already kicking homeless people out of some park, or and everywhere you go, this is another interesting thing of being on the road. We're a part of an exodus. There is a huge population out here who are just living on the road in caravans, in cars with those tents on the top. There'll be some here in this car park tonight. And they're very shy. They don't want to talk. So we've been trying to get them to talk, but they're really shy. I think there's a bit of shame involved. But they are everywhere. People are really doing tough. I'd say we're already in, for some people, in a form of Great Depression. It was very hard if you say you're a 60-year-old woman living in a tent in some some town, to think that somehow you're going to turn around and get back to owning a home and being somewhere. This is really, really tough. And all the people really have is each other and those in society who care. That's it. Because they all know that the government just doesn't care, because this is solvable. There's no reason we should be broke with all this mineral wealth. It's just no reason. And so we're being shafted. We're just being shafted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got enough. Yeah, it's amazing what you do, being so close to the ground. Of you're just reporting what you see.
You see it, like say today. Look, I've done an interview today with a farmer, third-generation farmer, who basically the chemical spraying from the other cotton and the other farms were coming onto his land, and his farm was dying, so he quit. Very powerful interview that he did. But then another woman came to see us with her daughters. I won't say her name, but I'm going to write about it. She's a nursing home worker, and she's telling me how they're still shutting down the nursing home for COVID. They're still shooting all the COVID vaccines into the old people. And she was talking about the amount of deaths. Every time they do it, a few weeks they have a load of deaths. That's what she said. And the other thing she said, I was going to write about this. She said there was one man there, old man. He was in the evening and he was bleeding from everywhere, bleeding from his eyes, bleeding from his nose, bleeding just literally out of his skin, bleeding from the orifice down below. And they did nothing till the morning. They called the doctor in the morning because there's not many doctors in the country. So this poor old guy is just basically bleeding to death all night. Now, is that a common thing, Paul?
I don't know. I can picture it too well because I've sort of seen people.
I've heard of it before. Other people have told me that their loved ones have, especially the old ones, have died the same way. So it's not the first time I've heard it, but I just find it despairing. And they say,
Is this recently or?
Yeah, just recently. And the other thing she said was she's the only one of family's son jabbed. And this is what happens all the time on the road. So you've got her, other people coming up. they're the only ones in the family that haven't taken, or they've only taken few, and they might have families that have taken 5 or 6, and they're all sick. They all got cancer, the heart operations. I mean, I've had a heart operation too, but she says they're all really sick, and it's really tragic. And so you've got all these ill people, and if you drive around the country, if you go, especially during the day, we turn up in the day, and you're in the IGA or wherever it is, it's like Crippled Creek. People do not look healthy. You don't see them striding down, looking healthy. Everyone's beaten down, And
yeah, at least during the Depression. At least during the Depression, when you look at the videos, people were well dressed and jaunty, and hey, I'm unemployed, but look at me.
Yeah,
they still had their hormones intact. You could see, whereas
that's a fun song.
Part of why we've been beaten down is because they use those masks. It was nothing to do with health,
Oh,
there's
for some reason on my Twitter, there's this huge community of people that just celebrate wearing the mask, like the young guy in the middle there. And you just see them talking about how much better they are than everybody, how they care for themselves in the community. And you're just going, you're bonkers, man. You're just bonkers,
Well,
and
I saw it as a form of degradation.
Things like that.
I saw it as a form of degradation, even when I was walking the streets, without a mask on. And I thought, I'm just happy that I'm not the minority anymore. The people with the masks, but it wasn't. But it was coming from just understanding the insanity of it, and it wasn't obvious at first because we had trust. I think what's different this time, Michael, is that we don't have the same trust for these bozos that we had a few years ago.
Yeah. So this is, but the nursing. I don't know. It's is there on some level with good people doing what they're told to do by the superiors, but is there a cult going on? Are they going, look, we can't afford to have all these old people in nursing homes? You know what I mean?
I listened to Chris. I listened to Michael. I listened to Kathleen Austin Fitz, Kath, from the Solari.com. She was the former HUD secretary. She talked about the missing 21 trillion, and then there was another 21 trillion missing, and all sorts of digits have just gone missing. Anyway, she was giving testimony to the court in the Netherlands, where they're saying exactly this, that it was like we just it was going to cost too much to pay all the pensions. We don't have the money, so we either had to be fiscally responsible, or we could just bring down the life expectancy of the population. So that we don't have to pay.
They do have the money, though. They do have the money. The rich have the money. The money is there. It's just been fleeced. I mean, when the idea of the Great American Dream and the Great Australian Dream, that was marketed after the war, because the governments realized that the people would rise up and go to communism, because communism made so much sense, because the rich were just ripping everyone off. So the rich realized if they wanted to keep their wealth, they'd have to hand some back. And suddenly we had this prosperous time where people could buy a house, you could buy a car, and one man could, you could work one job and support your family. And so we all look at this as this beautiful time. But then they realized at some point, hey, this ain't working. We're not getting richer. And they started the trickle-down economy bullshit, like, oh, yeah, if the rich have the money, it'll trickle down. Yeah, their urine will trickle down. That's the only thing that will trickle down. And so this is what they started to do, and this is it. It is greed. It is a small population of greed. And I think a lot of people in Australia, to be honest, not yourself, but a lot of people have accumulated money with houses. Maybe they've got a couple of houses. One person we heard today just died. He had 95 rental properties. And so maybe secretly on some level, they think, I'm one of the elite. I've got 95 properties. So I'm one of the elites. So I don't know what these people are talking about. I don't know, man, but there's just, it's to me, what everyone talks to me that I talk to, the one thing they all say, there seems to be an empathy that has been lost in the country, a general empathy for other people's suffering. It's literally gone back to, I'm all right, Jack, so I don't give an F about you. And you can't build a culture on that sort of mentality. You just build a jungle.
It's very Hunger Games, isn't it? It's very Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You know, you've got. Right. I sometimes I say it's like a great big game of Monopoly, and you're at the end of the game of Monopoly. You know, a few hotels, and they end up owning everything, and that's the way the system has worked. You know, the 99 point. But you know, just to flog a dead horse, this is all the currencies when you measure them in gold grams from 1980, and Australia's not on there. But I see a pattern. I don't know if you see a pattern, but that looks like you know, and you wouldn't believe it, but the Aussie dollar, if it was on this chart, it'd be below it. It's below. it's under 5. So we're heading the world. We're leading the world in the debasement stakes. You know, but it's all of them. And as this goes to zero, the price of everything goes to infinity.
Yeah, that's right. Well, can I show you something here? This is really interesting. This is forever fiat. I was told when I was at primary school, the people in Italy stopped what they were doing at lunchtime and went home for lunch and a nap. Well, that's the same in Spain. You know, it's a siesta.
Siesta. Yeah.
Why don't we have a siesta? I mean, it's been 40 degrees most of Australia. Wouldn't it make sense that, hey, we're going to have a break in the middle of the day, go home, have a few 4 hours off, get the heat, and then we work in the evening, we party in the evening. We might actually bring back some of our, what would you say, what's the word for?
Nightlife.
Reignite Australia's sex drive. You know what I'd like to see? Not the women, because I think the women are still there, but I'd like to see the men striding down the street with a bit of a swagger in their step, as if to say, look, you don't have to have sex with me. If you did, I'm pretty good. And have the women go, hey, you know, that's, you know, this is it. You just actually get some zest back in the community. Get a bit of larrikin spirit going. Because this dowdy little thing like this ain't working for anybody. And the other thing I wanted to bring up, this is huge. This is huge. This is aimed at your son in a way too. But at his generation, do I have it here? I just got to show this again because it's really funny. This I find, I'll just bring it up. It's, I know it won't come up now. Oh, that's really came up yesterday. There's the West Australian had the whole front cover was a young man. Wait till you see this. Is going to piss you off so much.
No, I saw that one. I saw it. How not to grow up with monster? How do we stop this boy?
How do we stop this young Australian white male turning into a monster? You know, and I just thought, you sons of bitches, you absolute sons of bitches, you had the audacity to print that and shame all the young men in WA, you know, who are really struggling. Do you know they have now 18 to 24-year-olds. I think it's 70% or 80% of them have never asked a girl out. And they're never going to ask a girl out if you're training them not to come. They're going to be terrified of women. Terrified. And there has to be, the women who are doing this might be thinking, hey, we want men who are like, you know, a pony in a showground, you know, with a bent back, and they can just put all the kids and fat people they want, and they just lead it around the fair, and that's an Australian male. Where secretly they want a stallion. They want something they can't control. They want something they've got to live with, and it's got a bit of oomph, and it walks around, and it can have a fun time. That's it. That's it. The whole world, heterosexuality, and I know this is going to get me in a lot of trouble. You're going to cancel me, and I don't care. Everything you see around you, you are heterosexuals, because we actually gave birth to the people who made it. And so you're looking at it. I just would love to see, and my daughter told me this too, and other kids have told me, no one has any spark to them. And you've made it like it's wrong, you know, if you try to chat someone up, oh, you're a you're a leech, or there's something wrong with
toxic,
you. Know toxic masculinity, you know. It's just annoying me, but they know, the government knows, because when I was interviewed on the radio about Maroon, there was a woman in front of me who was interviewed about a book she'd written, and the book was about how many women in domestic violence situations kill themselves, and they wanted to find out that there was loads, and they were going to use that to shame men. They found out it was hardly any, and what it was, though, the men killed themselves at a huge rate. Got no sympathy. Oh, the domestic abuse is terrible. Yeah, good riddance. And the actual reason they killed themselves was shame. Shame was the big killer. And here's a major newspaper in Australia going, look at this beautiful little boy. How do we stop him becoming a monster? I got an idea. Why don't you go out of business? Why don't you just quit? And let the young lad grow up by himself, figure out the courage to go up to, because you know what? It's terrifying when you're young to go up and ask a girl out. It's tough, especially when 9 times out of 10, they're going to go, they're not going to reciprocate. But when it does, when it works, when you fall in love, and you not fall in love by the government saying you got to tick this box, when you just let humans be, they find each other, and they do. And every relationship might not. I'm just rambling now, but what I'm thinking is, I just hate this savage attack on our young men, and the reason they get away with it is they've already broken the older men, the fathers, so the fathers have no fight in them to defend their sons. So it's up to the women. I pledge the grandmothers and mothers, get in touch with the Western Australian and demand that they do a retraction. Demand it and say, don't you dare do that about our sons. Because I think 90% of the young men in Australia are probably beautiful young men. And that's always been that way. And it's up to you what a woman you go for, whether you go for a baddie or a goodie. It's up to the women. But anyway, I'm just ranting. But
so Michael, I haven't read that article, but I'm assuming it's some woke BS. And I'm a great believer. I'm a great believer in go woke, go broke. So
don't buy the newspaper.
Don't buy the newspaper. Cancel your subscription. And unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. Because toxic woke mainstream media needs to be switched off. Come to the fort. We'll almost have, maybe we'll have we have an address for you.
Okay, here it is. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah, he looks
how
like
we
he could.
Stop this kid becoming a monster. Call for DV lessons, all schools, to address the menace of toxic masculinity. I urge you, if you're in WA, cancel your subscription. Get it out there. Everybody, absolutely get the West Australian to go out of business. Don't advertise with them. They cannot attack our beautiful young men like this. Look at this. He's beautiful. He's absolutely beautiful young man. How we stop this? Fuck you becoming a monster. We are governed by monsters.
It's
governed by monsters.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, sorry.
No, clearly, they're. We shouldn't have to pay for our own propaganda. We should start. We should. Yeah,
with America, like Buzz Light, the West Australian would have gone out of business. The Americans, like Buzz Light, they would have stopped. It happened here, I think, with one of the companies. They had a woman who'd had her arm bitten off by a shark, and I think it was Rip Curl or one of those. I can't remember. And she was the cover of it. Then they got rid of her, and they put a man who thought he was a woman, and they had him, and the company's gone out of business. Or it's basically been, might be, I can't remember. Maybe can someone remember who it was, Billabong or one of those? But this is how we fight back. This is how we fight back with the corporations. You drive them out of business.
Culture with a, culture with a K. Maybe. Yeah. People may have to work a little bit harder to find us, but this is the call to build the platforms. Build the platforms that's what we've always done. We gravitate to whichever platform offers us free speech.
There's a Russian one, I've been told. There's a Russian, and I'm thinking if they're based in Russia, I bet Russia's not going to be interested in paying any fines that the Australian government tries to get their corporations to pay. Can you imagine Albanese asking Putin for their company to pay a $45 billion fine?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Rip Curl. Let me do this out. Rip Curl, an iconic Australian surf band, is facing severe financial distress and store closures following a controversial marketing campaign that featured Sasha Jane Lorison, a transgender surfer known as Ryan Egan, in women's surfing promotion. And they got rid of this other beautiful woman who'd lost her arm to a shark. And so now they're going under. Rip Curl, tough fucking luck. Very sorry for the people who work for them. I know you had nothing to do with it, but the ones who own it, good luck. Tough luck. How dare you do that? Dare you do that? You woke idiots.
I tell you, it's beginning to look like a law of nature. The go woke, go broke. It's like woke government too. They're just it's just a metaphor for how badly they've lost the plot.
Look at Albanese. I think I've got a video of him here. It didn't play the other night, and he's blaming us. Here's one. This is his real thing. This was a few years ago.
That has been identified for our security has been right-wing extremism. People should have a look at the consequences of that hatred. And it is an ideology of hate. It's rejected overwhelmingly by all fair-minded Australians.
So that's him now. That was him 4 years ago. This is him today. And he's asked, is Islamic a problem?
Domestic security threat Australia faces. To follow on Ruben's question, is radical Islam, in your view, the greatest domestic security threat Australia faces?
So if you can't hear that, is radical Islam the greatest threat to Australian security?
The issues that we're dealing with. But I want to deal with all of the threats, whether it be extremist perversions of Islam leading to support for the ideology promoted by ISIS, whether it be also concerned about the issue of sovereign citizens.
F off. And
sovereign citizens. So what about sovereign individuals? What about sovereign individuals, Albo? People who believe that they're sovereign individuals. The right to say no, the right to withdraw consent. Withdraw consent from a corrupt. A corrupt
100%
and murder.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, I was just saying. By the way, just the right thing. We have that. It's quite interesting that ASIO or whoever has created this class they call sovereign. It is a construct, right? It's to create an internal boogeyman. It doesn't have to be And I noticed that but this is a breakdown in trust, you know. We've got plenty of reasons.
The other great thing, this is some good news. This year, Queensland has had the greatest amount. Wow. Things I put up yesterday, I'm not allowed to put up today. I'll see if I'll put it up here. So has had the greatest amount of resignations from the police force. And either they're burnt out or they just don't want to do it. You know, and I think they don't want to do these stupid laws. So, and here in England now, every day you get on and here's the English police or the Irish police arresting. Here, got one here. That we saw your meme. Step outside. You know, here they are. And I think they're actually the key. The police are the key. It's the same in Melbourne. If the police in Melbourne, if they're at the Shrine and they have every right to say, I don't want to do this, it's in their constitution as a police officer.
It's not a problem, Michael. It's not a problem. They'll bring in the UN troops. They won't have any such problem.
If they did, if they brought in UN troops, that'd be
well. They wouldn't make. They wouldn't. No.
I let me finish.
The plan of the globalists is to bring in. The plan of the globalists is to bring in, you know, because if you want people who really terrorize the population, they've got to not be part of your society, just in the same way as they split us vax and anti-vax. They don't want people, because you could see, like even during that attack last week. I mean, Alamid, you know, had to say, okay, enough of this shit, buddy, and you know, and grabbed the gun of him. You know, it was we all want an Australia that's safe, and but we want the freedom. We want the freedom to be able to speak freely, and we want privacy, and we want bodily autonomy, and informed consent.
You're breaking up a bit. That's why I'm interjecting. Yeah.
Okay. You know, we want privacy. We want bodily autonomy. We want to be able to choose what goes into our body. It's very important, and we don't want to be controlled by the global. We don't want global. No. This is the system setting up global control. Okay. This is why I caught you at UN, because I bet you that the troops that ultimately come in will not be, they will not be our police. They will be.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, they would be an occupying force then. And if you've got an occupying, they wouldn't be seen as police. They'd be seen as an occupying force. You got an occupying force in a free country, you're going to get a lot of people waking up, and these people are not going to be compliant. So I think it would work the opposite for them. It's like the English in Northern Ireland. You know what I mean? Always trouble. It's like wherever there's an invading force, it's very, very difficult for an invading force to hold on to a country and control a people that doesn't want them there, because that would be a symbol that we are no longer free. We have been invaded.
But Michael, we've set up the prison.
They'll do it.
Michael, we've set up the prison. You know, we've got the surveillance with the facial recognition everywhere. We've got, you know, so do we just need this digital ID and the digital currency that they and their mates control, and we're off to the new system. But the new system gives way too much control to these psychopaths.
Yeah, now, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's unwritten. And I'm seeing even today with these people refusing to use digital, paying with cash. I think since The Voice, there's been this sort of, it's like a sleeping dragon who's just opened its eyes and is sitting there. And I think the government is prodding it too much, and they've underestimated Australians. So I know I call them potato heads and stuff, but I still think there's a lot now. You're seeing it in people doing a lot of rants who've never spoken before. Like even this is my favorite. Watch this. This absolutely wonderful. This gives me so much hope.
Doesn't exist. Fluoride isn't for your teeth, it's for your brain, because when you consume it, you become extremely controllable. Injections don't save lives, they ruin them. Education doesn't make people smarter, it makes them indoctrinated. Doctors don't know about health, they only know about drugs, and the sun isn't the enemy, sunscreen is. Everything that we have been taught is complete garbage. If we want to live healthy and fulfilling lives, we need to ignore the experts and focus on reducing our exposure to toxicity and getting in alignment with nature.
Can't argue with that.
Isn't he great?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing
yeah,
is, he's
he is.
young, and you're not going to be able to convince him that 2 + 2 = 7. You know, that kid now is sick of lies. And I think the 14-year-olds who went and amassed, that's an army. This is an army, because they're going to inspire other young people going, because what we've done to these young people under 16, like your son, what we've done is actually gone, you've been born into this world. We created a digital world and you've been born into it. You've grown up with iPads. You know computers better than us. And now we've suddenly turned around because we want to control the rest of the population and we're pretending that we care for you. They know we don't care for them. They know very well. They can see it in the schools. They can see it everywhere. They completely know that the government, including Albanese, doesn't give a flying fuck about them. And now they're rising up. So Albanese, what he's done by trying to control all of us is creating a new army. And I'm so proud of those 14-year-olds that amassed and told F you to the government. And what we need is we need them to teach us how do you get around this shit. So we actually need the under 16-year-olds to educate the rest of us how we get past this digital ID shit and keep going. So to me, there's resistance in the air.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Look, it's not the technology, and necessarily, it's like all technology. It can be used for good or for bad, and whether it's AI or a gun or medication, a type of treatment. But we have to look at the evidence of what we've been looking at. And to be frank, Michael, I've been saying for a while now we've been at a war. It's just people didn't say it. I went, wow, this is one funky ass war we're in, because it didn't make sense. Who the enemy actually is. I think ultimately the enemy is getting closer to what you said earlier, the loss of compassion.
What you just said, it doesn't make sense. We could call it the war of nonsense, because literally they've just tried to get us to believe nonsense for 5 years. Men can give birth. You think of it, the vaccine works. COVID is deadly. All these other things they're trying to get us to believe, climate change, when we can see it's all nonsense, bullshit, lies, nonsense. So it's almost like the war of nonsense, and we are the defenders of common sense. I'm not saying we have all the answers, but we can call it out. Matt Finlay is brilliant at it in the music. I might end it with his song again, but this is where we are. That's a really interesting thing you just said. This could be the war of nonsense.
It has been. It has been a war. It has been a war against sense. Yeah, it has. But there's also this. I've got a 3-minute economics lesson. I've got a. I think it's a 3-minute economics lesson. Let me cue it up.
Very popular with white fans.
Okay. Economics lesson.
Communism.
Oh,
You have two cows. The state takes both and gives you some milk.
Socialism.
You have two cows. You give one to your neighbor.
Fascism.
You have two cows. The state takes both and sells you some milk.
Bureaucratize.
You have 2 cows. The state takes both, shoots one, milks the other, and then throws the milk away.
Traditional capitalism.
You have 2 cows. You sell one and buy a bull. Your herd multiplies, and the economy grows. You sell them and retire on the income.
Venture capitalism.
You have 2 cows. You sell 3 of them to your publicly listed company, using letters of credit opened by your brother-in-law at the bank, then execute a debt equity swap with an associated general offer so that you get all 4 cows back, with a tax exemption for 5 cows. The milk rights of the 6 cows are transferred by an intermediary to a Cayman Island company secretly owned by the majority shareholder who sells the rights to all 7 cows back to your listed company. The annual report says the company owns 8 cows, with an option on 1 more.
An Italian corporation.
You have 2 cows, but you do not know where they are. You decide to have lunch.
A French corporation.
You have 2 cows. You go on strike, organize a riot, and block the roads, because you want 3 cows.
An American corporation.
You have 2 cows. You sell one, and force the other to produce the milk of 4 cows. Later, you hire a consultant to analyze why the cow has died.
A Swiss corporation.
You have 5,000 cows. None of them belong to you. You charge the owners for storing them.
An Irish corporation.
You have 2 cows. One of them is a horse.
An Australian corporation.
You have 2 cows. Business seems pretty good. You close the office and go for a few beers to celebrate.
A Chinese corporation.
You have 2 cows. You have 300 people milking them. You claim that you have full employment and high bovine productivity. You arrest the newsman who reported the real situation.
An Indian corporation.
You have 2 cows. You worship them.
An Iraqi corporation.
Everyone thinks you have lots of cows. You tell them that you have none. Nobody believes you, so they bomb the crap out of you and invade your country. You still have no cows, but at least you are now a democracy.
A British corporation.
You have 2 cows. Both are mad.
An Indonesian corporation.
You have 99 cows. You mortgaged all of them to the bank to buy milk, then dream that you still have 1 to spare.
A Greek corporation.
You have 2 cows, borrowed from French and German banks. You eat both of them. The banks call to collect their milk, but you cannot deliver, so you call the IMF. The IMF loans you 2 cows. You eat both of them. The banks and the IMF call to collect their cow's milk. You are out getting a haircut.
Yes, there you go. So if you, yes, the 2 cows.
You have 2 cows.
Stop. There you go. A quick summary.
I was just going to say, though, to everyone watching, Cafe Lockdown's not going to comply. We get age verification. We're not going to do it. And so we don't know. We're looking at Odyssey. We're on Odyssey tonight. We're on Telegram. I don't know if Telegram is still working. The live. I don't know how to use Telegram, so I might need assistance. Jay, if you want to get in touch, and try my best. So we've got there's a Russian one we've been told about, like a Russian basically platform. So we might be trying that. Unfortunately, Google to log into it, which we can't do. So yeah, we're also the other thing that's happening is people are buying hard drives and taking everything down from Google. So we are removing ourselves from all Google products as we can. We're on Brave now, and I think it's time to actually get Google out of our lives. And because we actually found out that they make the search engine in Google work worse. So you've got to do a few searches to find what you want so they can actually sell more ads. So Google's been screwing us too for money. And I think it's a time for Australians to wake up and realize the power they have is in their wallet. And so when there's no cash comes in, if you go into a business that won't take cash, make sure you've got a trolley jam-packed full of stuff and then go, well, see ya, and let them put it all back. You can do it this way and favor the stores that take cash. And amongst yourselves, I would suggest you do business amongst yourselves if you can. We're happy to advertise businesses. If you're in our community, you're setting up something, you want to come on, we're happy to try market it for you. The BAM Book Club has got 6 books on there now. We have some more books joining, so people are understanding that it's a way to market the books from our community. I told a nurse today, the nurse who I interviewed, Bernie, who had her, was in a nurse's uniform, didn't have a mask on and got smashed to the ground, got a cervix broken and all this thing, and fought the court case, sternum broken, sorry. Did I say cervix? I got a sternum broken. And she now, I told her, write a book because we need our history collected. So you might think, oh, I've been through COVID stuff. Everyone's been through it. But why not try? Paul, you got to write a book, Paul. You know, Me More Veteran, that's the title, you know?
It could be, yeah, because that's, you know, the world has changed, it's changing fast. I like what you said, Michael. There are many positive things which are happening. This is produced. Yeah. This will produce the entrepreneur and the opportunities. It will be driven from the ground up, not from the top down, and it will be decentralized, most likely. It will most likely be decentralized, and we won't go through the gatekeepers. You know, and they're forcing us to do this, but they're forcing this evolutionary pressure. I've got this guy that I thought just before we go, we can
sure.
Interesting rant. Oh, there we go.
To do no
there's some great rants around at the moment.
To do a bunch of harm. Remember how you justified to yourself that you were doing no harm because you were just being told what to do? And then you remembered that you went to college for like 10 years and that you should be way smarter than this and you should be able to see the obvious and figure things out. But you don't remember that? Well, do you remember how your office had a quota for selling the things for the money you would get? And so when people came in, you just told them they had to get the thing. And then every once in a while, you get someone that asked questions. Or how people would be like, is it safe and effective? And be like, certainly. And they'd be like, can you show me? Like, show you what? The proof that it's safe and effective. And you're like, oh yeah, we don't have that. And then they're like, well, how about an insert? And then you handed them a blank piece of paper. Remember how in all your years of medical training, this was the only time that people came in with an illness and you sent them home with no advice on early treatment because you weren't allowed to talk about early treatment and you didn't have a problem with that. Remember how you knew exactly what the machines did, but you did it anyway? Remember how people would come into your hospital and they'd be sick and you'd be like, you got to go on a machine. They'd be like, I don't want to go on a machine. I've heard about those machines. And you're like, yeah, well, you're here now and you can't leave. Remember how much doing no harm you were doing? Remember how you knew that you put certain things on death certificates that you knew wasn't true and you justified that by telling families that FEMA would pay for their funerals? And you remember how much extra money you made by doing no harm? Remember that?
Yeah, and that just reminds me, one of the things I've been I was listening to Jessica Rose speaking with Kevin McKernan, and they mentioned John Baudouin. Have you heard of John Baudouin?
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Anyway, okay, so he's one of these. He's an engineer type, and he FOIA'd the data from different countries, and he's shown, while everyone's focusing on myocarditis, which although very serious, the problem with kidney failure and deaths following kidney failure after the shots and from when death is near is about 150 times worse than the myocarditis problem. And well, you know, so John, like Steve Kirsch and Barry Young's case and the Czech Republic, when you get just the raw, unvarnished, unmodeled, unfabricated data, you get a story. You get a consistent story of what's going on. And they're coming after, you know, they come after Barry, but there are too many confirmatory data sets, and there have been from the beginning, you know. They really have from the beginning, and you just think, you know, how much longer are people going to tolerate these web of lies? And so I think we're going to value privacy. Yes, we're going to value real value in what we get paid, and that's a good thing because we'll be able to save again. We'll be able to save again. We'll be able to prosper. I think we'll value integrity again. So we've lost trust. We have to think about how we rebuild trust, and we have to build. They're not going to build the networks for us. It's just like you said, it'll be the 15-year-olds.
I know. I do you think? Look, while we're here tonight, I remember I had a job in the Post once, and what they did in the Post, if you wanted to get a promotion, you had to be prepared to dob in other posties. That was it. And so what they get is they get this group of people going up who have no integrity, who will do whatever they want, just the yes men, the yes women, yes men, they'll do whatever. Our whole upper echelon is just full of that, full of people who are just good at passing the buck. You watch them in the Senate estimates. Oh, that's not my thing. I'll take that on notice. All this stuff, everything, or the whole thing is not about answering any question. It's just about getting off the hook. And this is our upper management now doing us. So, and on the ground, we've got all these common sense people who have just sort of look, yeah, you want to do that. I couldn't stand politics. So now we're realizing that we put the weak people in charge, and now we've got a shitstorm that we've got to deal with. That's the reality. And a perfect example of that is Albanese or the treasurer. Now the treasurer looks like someone hit him with a hammer on his head before he talks to anyone. It's like, you know, he's like this, you know, I mean, it's just nonsense. And he's just so willing. I'll sign the WHO. Yeah, give Australia's freedom. Say, yeah, I'll do that. Anything, just like me. I'm the treasurer of Australia. Please like me. Well, he's pathetic. And we've seen
it time and time again. He's fought.
That thing you posted. Yeah, but that thing you posted where they're all going, COVID will hunt you down. COVID will hunt you down. It'll get you. It'll get in under the door and it'll look at you and going, are you unvaccinated? Because I'm here to kill you. But the fact is, we're a part of the unjabbed community or the partially jabbed community. And what I know is in the unjabbed community, we're not saying we're better than anyone else, but what we do is we don't have myocarditis.
Yeah,
and we haven't died of COVID. I haven't known one member of the community that's died of
COVID. Or kidney failure. You know, the kidney failure, John Bowden was talking in the US, 250,000 deaths from kidney failure. I'm not talking small numbers. I'm talking, you know, 500%. Yeah, but I'm talking, yeah, that's all happening. But I'm just saying, just the work on because, you know, the kidney failure is harder to explain by, oh, it was the virus. It was the virus. No, there were two signals in his data. From the remdesivir, you know, when they had lots of people in hospital and they put them on beds, and they said, oh, this is a strange virus. It seems to attack the kidneys. How bizarre. You know, how fucking stupid do you have to be? But the signal's there in his data, right? And then there's a second signal that you can see when they're rolling out the shots. And these things, you were talking about the amyloid, you know, the big stuff that you can pull out of a cadaver. That, like Richard Hirschman, when we were talking to him.
Yeah.
You know, but there's these really small clots, and the kidney is a blood filter, so it just clogs up. You're just clogging up the filter with these micro deposits. Now, so you can understand why, but it's 150 times, you know, more people have died from that, and plenty have died from heart, you know. So I'm just saying this is where the big numbers are, and it's much harder to explain from, oh, it's the COVID that caused all the kidney failures. Do you know what I mean? It followed those two insults, and his work shows that. And so whenever you actually get record level data, and you look at it without the modeling and the fantasy AI generated data sets, no one's able to inspect because they're, you know, proprietary. And we're aware of the fraud now, but there are still people like Dr. Dan who will pay homage to this as real his real data.
Missing. Yeah.
He probably can't. He must have verified his age.
No, joke of the day. There was he was on the Lime show, and he had this brand new name. You know, I don't know how he must just sit there constantly making up. Because see, if we kick him off, he's not allowed to comment for a full 24 hours if he sets up a new thing. So that's the thing. But anyway, yeah. I'm going to go out unless you've got.
I've got a 1,020,000 rand. I thought, see what people think.
What in the actual fuck is going on in this country? We had 2 ISIS terrorists kill 15 people on Sunday, and the best thing our government can do is a buyback scheme. Another one. Guns aren't the problem. It's the ideology of the people that are shooting them. The fact that the dad was allowed to get a gun while his son was on an ASIO watch list is baffling to me.
6
Like,
guns.
how does that happen? And then, like the good WEF puppet that Albo is, he calls out the far right. The exact same thing that Keir Starmer did in the UK. They're all cut from the same cloth, these pathetic, spineless cowards. None of them will say what the issue is. What the fuck do you think happens when you mix oil and water? Huh? Diversity isn't our strength. The mass migration experiment has failed. But no, they just introduce more laws to stop you from talking about it. And then they go and arrest these fellas yesterday afternoon who were apparently on their way to Bondi and then release them the next day, knowing that one of them's on an ASIO. Get the fuck out of the country. It's such a headache. These new laws are not going to do anything. We need to enforce the ones that we have. We are a laughing stock to the rest of the world. This is not the Australia that I want to raise my daughter in. This is not the Australia that I grew up in. And this is not the Australia that we should accept. What in the actual...
That's Celine against the machine. She was the one that forced E. Karen to do FOIs. So we got an FOI because of Celine against the machine. She's fantastic. Yeah. And
she's good, isn't she?
That us old farts are going to go and the other generation is going to come on because people want freedom. But what I think now is a great, brilliant opportunity for all Australians. When the COVID came along, our reputation as larrikins it just collapsed. We basically shamed ourselves in front of the world. Well, now they're bringing digital ID, cashless society. It's all a part of the woo. 20-minute cities. Get on the Victorian website. All the weak-tards are trying to bring this is. Now it's a time to redefine us, to have the world go, there's the Australia we remember. There's the Crocodile Dundee. That's not a cashless society. That's a cashless society, you know. And now it's the time for us to get our own back and get back and tell the government and show the world that Australians as a race know that the government has 3 jobs: empty the bins, fix the roads, and stay the fuck out of our lives. And then they can do other stuff from that. But that's what we want. They're there to serve us. We are not serfs. We are not slaves. We are Australians. And we have shrines everywhere. And this is, I know I say this all the time, it's important. It's our time now to defend the freedoms that they fought, and some of them died defending. Now it's our time. And it's unfortunately the enemy we're fighting is our nutcases in Parliament. It's time to do it. Yeah.
I agree. I got one very quick clip to remind people of another economic thing. This is Milton Friedman, the famous Milton Friedman.
First of all, the government doesn't have any money. Only people have money. The government only gets money by putting its hand in your pocket and taking it out. Yeah.
I just thought that was a worthwhile reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt Finlay, I hope you're watching because we're going to play your song again. I think, I know I've been playing a lot of AI songs, and I'm thankful to the people that are supportive of this, but this is Matt Finlay. He's a brilliant musician, very powerful poet. I think this is staggeringly brilliant, this song. And how he's done the film clip, I don't know. He's done such an excellent job. So I'm going to go out with that. You got anything to say, Paul? I don't know if we'll do another show before the new year. We probably will. But coming up to Christmas, want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. And I hope you get back with the families that might have ostracized you before. Yes, my darling.
Michael, I don't know but we should do. Maybe we should play the 12 jabs of COVID.
Yeah, have you got it?
It's Christmas. Let me get it. Do people want to hear the 12 jabs of COVID?
Yes, do it.
All right, let me find it.
Paul came up with this early on. This is a Christmas tradition now. Then we'll go out with Daddy Government.
It is Christmas. I am sorry I'm finding it because I only just thought of it. No, it's not. It's not turning up. But I wish you.
Why don't we do a small special on Christmas Eve? If we're somewhere, we'll do a small special because people are broke, people are despaired. So maybe we'll get it ready for that. What'll that be, Wednesday?
We'll have the lyrics up so people can sing along. I'd like to sing along to the 12 jabs.
Yeah.
It's the 4th anniversary. It's the 4th anniversary.
Yeah, man. Why not? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, people. Anything else, Doc?
That's it.
Okay, it's 5 years on. We're going into the next year. We're still here. We're still feisty. And we have some great warriors amongst us. This year is the year where we're proud of ourselves. We have withstood a $1 trillion propaganda machine, and we're all still feisty. It's time to lift our chins up and be tough and ready because the country needs every dissident there is. And so, this is one of my 2 favorite dissidents, Robin and Matt Finlay. So, good night, everybody. And I'm back tomorrow with a great guy. He's a surprise guest. We met him in Tenterfield. Lovely Australian guy, and he's got a lot to say. So we'll see you there. Okay, let's go. This is Daddy Government, Robin and Matt. Love you, Paul. Me more veteran there. We should sell those T-shirts. They're great. Yeah. I just want to say, Robin, if you're watching, you got a fabulous ass. I'm uptown, my night, my
liars.
Yeah, you thieves.
You're murderous psychopaths, and I don't want anything to do with you.
So get your beak out of our lives and stop trying to tell us how to live.
I'm not the job now, hear me say. I'm uptown, but not my sexy. You don't make decisions for me.
The government doesn't make a good parent, does it?
No. And you know what? I reckon anyone else, they'd have their kids taken off them.